All right, cool. It's recording. All right, so what's up? We want to thank MusicOTFuture for having us do a behind the album. We are Mighty Brother. I'm Nick.
Ari.
I'm Jonah.
Do that thing where we introduce ourselves.
Yeah, we do that thing where we introduce ourselves. And we're
really good.
We're on a Zoom call to talk about our new double album, The Rabbit, the Owl, and people behind it. You want to talk about the meaning a little bit, Ari?
Yeah. So it kind of all started after our first record. We had a rabbit and an owl on our album cover. And it kind of became this thing at shows where people were like, who's the rabbit, who's the owl? Because Nick and I started the band and we were both the songwriters and we'd take turns singing leads, and people were like, maybe these are like your spirit animals or something. And it mostly just became an interesting way to interact with the audience, and maybe we should do a double album where we have the rabbit and the owl and kind of attribute characteristics to each of those. So they kind of became kind of archetypal ideas, like energized versus pensive, action versus like reflection. And we started, as we were writing new tunes, putting them in these categories.
We write a ton. Ari and I both write a lot of songs, and just having such different musical backgrounds between ourselves and Quinn and Jonah. We were wanting to explore more, trying to find our sound, so we wanted to make these kind of parallel albums. So, you have both of them start with like, one album starts with Naked Winter, the other starts with Summer Road. They both end with parallel stories of like Villain and Vandal. So there's a lot of like bilinear things happening with the albums that was very deliberate. They both have 8 tracks. They're around the same length, but very different in overall mood and vibe on them. Yeah. So that's a little behind the concept. Double album ended up being a way bigger. I think we thought we'd started and get it out within like, a year or a year and a half, but it's been, the better part of the last 3 years that we've been working on this thing. We even ended up putting a EP out in the meantime because we were like, we don't want to go so long without putting out some music. So it's been a big, big project.
Definitely twice the work, more than twice the work.
Yeah, it's an exponential thing when you double the albums. It's not.
Yeah.
It's 4 times the work.
4 times the work. I would say it's pretty close to that.
We're squaring that.
Yeah.
Really.
That's at least how it feels, I don't know if the result is that way, but
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna show in the end, but
the result is very much. The result is very much 2 albums.
So we recorded at 2 different studios for this albums. The Rabbit we did with our friend Joe Saponis at Avett-Americana Studios in New Orleans, and that was it was really fun doing that. The Rabbit, I think, we recorded before this long tour we did, so some of the songs were kind of fresh, and we really played around a lot in the studio, did a lot of time kind of tone crafting and messing around with ideas. The Owl was done at Menagerie Studios, also in New Orleans, with our friend Justin Armstrong. And that one, I think we had refined the songs a little bit more, so we kind of came in a little bit more knowing where we were at with them. But there was still some experimentation there. It's just a little bit different processes for the 2.
yeah, it felt like we got definitely more of a live band sound at Menagerie. We did a lot more like simultaneously tracking several instruments, and I think that comes out on the record too.
Yeah, I think part of that too is the Owl's more this almost prog rock sound, where it's Rabbit, we kind of needed that more isolated pop vibe for the way we recorded it. So.
And I think too, like with the Owl, like there were specific songs on that we knew from playing them live so often that they were never the same thing when we played it on stage. Like there were always something different when we were just creating it on the spot. And so we made sure to try and capture that when we were recording. certain specific songs on the Owl.
So we want to give some shout outs to the people we worked with. As we mentioned, we recorded with Joe Saponis, engineered the Rabbit, and Justin Armstrong engineered the Owl. Both records were mixed by Nathan Feller, a good friend of ours who's up in New York, and mastered by David Farrell here in New Orleans.
Voyager Sound Studios.
Voyager Sound Studio. We had some strings arranged on the Rabbit by Diedrich, our friend Diedrich, and Jonah did horn arrangements. Who played horns, Jonah?
We had Adam Marchand played trumpet on one song on Desolate, and then my good friend Ryan Crofta played trombone on a good handful of songs. He was on Desolate as well, and a few more, most of them on the Owl side.
We had, I think, David Linenkamp on the song Vandal plays trombone, too.
Oh, yeah, he came in with that nice feature there. I think that's everyone who played on it. Oh, and on drums was Kirk Duplantis for both records.
Crushing it.
He moved out to the Bay Area, so he's doing his own thing these days. But he was a huge contributor to the record. Thanks, Kirk. Love you, Kirk.
Been a long time in the making, and a lot of our friends are on it. We worked with a lot of our friends to make it. So yeah.
Get ready for our triple album for 2027 is what I'd say to really look forward to, ultimately.
2027. Give ourselves plenty of time.